Codependency presents a very strange energy dynamic. You're very much outside of yourself and not grounded, not centered with yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't have any anxiety around saying no. It's very interesting too because I look back at all the times that I seemingly had an inability to say no, and I realized that I just wasn't validating myself. I wasn't loving myself. I wasn't giving myself what it is that I needed to give myself, right? And now, at this point on my journey of healing, as I do give that to myself, I realize how actually effortless it is to say no, right? You don't need other people's validation. You don't need other people's approval. You can say no without having any anxiety around it. And this is what I'm finding for myself now. The more I center with myself, the more I realize that it's just my choice. And whatever it is that I need, right? When I need to say no, I can say no, and it's a no. And it doesn't go beyond that. And the other thing that's interesting too is that when somebody doesn't respect that no, walking away is what's necessary, right? It's as I recall my experiences with codependency, it's so interesting because a lot of it is very cringeworthy, right? And I do the best that I can to just put love where the cringe would be because healing is really a matter of just accepting and loving the self in every moment, right? Whenever I look back at a moment where maybe I struggled to say no, right? Just realizing that I was doing the best that I could back then, and that's okay, and I can validate myself, and, you know, I don't need to be hard on myself and everything. It's not necessary. Being hard on yourself actually does not work. It doesn't. I have tried it years ago, and it's not at all the way that it's just not healthy, right? And when you think about it, when you think about change, when you think about growth within a single person, right? It takes time. You're working with decades of conditioning, right? I just said something that I thought was very interesting, actually. You're working with, right? Previously, when I was hard on myself, I was working against, right? Decades of conditioning are going to be there, and they're going to present themselves, and then it's the responsibility of the person who is healing to just allow that stuff to be there. Oh, hey, how's it going? Yep, I see you. Okay, how do we... And then you sit down and you have a conversation with it. It's not about being hard on yourself. It's about being with yourself, right? Um, Being with yourself is the pathway to health. It's the pathway to health. Being with yourself. Being hard on yourself is likely a result of what whoever raised you taught you to do, usually through the lens of how they see themselves. And I just think it's very interesting too because when you can like take a step back and really see yourself, like really like recognize like your efforts and stuff, what it is that you're trying to create, right? Just everything. The way that you approach yourself completely transforms, and you'll never approach yourself the same way again. You'll never be hard on yourself because you don't need to, right? Whoever taught you to be hard on yourself? What makes you think it's the way? Are the trees hard on themselves? Are the birds and the bees and the breeze hard on themselves? They're just being. They're just still, right? You can let go of the act that you need to be hard on yourself. You can drop the shoulders. You can loosen the tension in the eyebrows. Ooh. I like it. Yeah. You can breathe, right? Whoever taught you to be hard on yourself, you can let go of that.